Do you want to travel the world but you have a tight budget? Do you want to visit an exotic destination but you don't know how to pick which one? I'm Cody Maxwell, and my mission is to visit every city I can and figure out which ones are worth your time and effort. You could travel light and see the world inexpensively. This is Maxwell's Kitchen Eurotrip. Santorini is a Greek island in the southern Aegean Sea. It is the southernmost member of the Cyclades group of islands and has an area of approximately 28 square miles and a population of 15,480 people. It takes about 50 minutes to fly the 180 miles from Athens to the eastern side of the island. The island is the remnant of one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded history, the Minoan eruption, which occurred about 3,600 years ago. This devastating eruption created a caldera, and that's when all the underlying magma comes up from the volcano, is emptied out, and then the ground above it collapses into it. This eruption and others in the future created other islands in this area, including Theoxenia, Aspronisi, Palea, and Nea Kameni. And this Minoan eruption may even be the inspiration for ancient stories like Atlantis and the Exodus. And while Santorini's primary industry is tourism, there's also a small wine industry. Grapes grown here are primarily the indigenous Assyrtiko variety, which has very old vines that are resistant to phylloxera, which is an insect pest known to cause havoc on grapevines worldwide. Local winemakers like to attribute this benefit to the well-drained volcanic soil. The bus system on Santorini is fantastic. When you land at the airport, you can walk out to the sidewalk, catch a bus for €2, and within 20 minutes be in Fira. The majority of this tiny little town is built on the cliff overlooking the Aegean, and most, if not all, of the buildings are whitewashed, while some areas are covered in that infamous bright blue and poking up into the skyline. This is a magical, beautiful place. And while it looks like nobody planned any part of any of these buildings, they just built one at a time in whatever crazy way they wanted to, that's what gives it character. That's what makes it interesting. And that's what makes it so unbelievably unique. And if you so choose, you can stay at the Theoxenia Caldera Hotel for $187 a night. Its main entrance is unassuming and tucked in between two shops. And you open the glass door and climb the stairs to go to the check-in counter. And I've stayed at a lot of hotels in my 40 years. This is by far the most hospitable place I've ever witnessed. Their main guy, who I assume is the owner, would have given me the shirt off his back if I asked for it. He got this massive, detailed map out, circled places, wrote ideas all over it for me to go and explore. He told me not to get the fish because there's no fishermen in Fira. He offered to do a load of my laundry, even though it was 3 p.m. and I was leaving at 6 a.m. the next morning. Before I left to go to my room, he even offered to personally take me to the airport if something happened with the bus system or the taxis the next morning. He gave me a card with his home cell number on it. I cannot praise this place enough. It is the best, friendliest, most incredible place I've ever stayed. Out on the streets of Fira, as you're walking around, it feels tight and small and confusing, and even a map wouldn't help you. There are shops, places to get gyros, gelaterias, restaurants, mini bars. And all you have to do at any point is look over your shoulder down into that caldera to see one of the most beautiful sights you've ever seen. There are massive cruise ships out there, all these teeny tiny mini hotels with swimming pools and patios. And at the north end of the island is the tiny town of Ia. Everyone is told that the sunset there should be an item on your bucket list. You can catch the bus in Fira once every hour for €2. And I'll tell you what, that sunset is very popular because it seemed like every person on the island was in Ia right around sunset. There are so many people, there were traffic jams on the tiny little walkways. Finding a spot on one of those lookouts to witness this event is something you gotta do. And oh my God, Greek food is so good. You can eat gyros for every meal. If you want to stop at Obelix right off of the main street, you can get water for 2 euros and a euro for 6 euros. And the same deal over here at this little food market area. At Karvounaki, you can get a chicken gyro for 4 euros 50, some tzatziki for 4 euros, as well as a Heineken for 5 euros. And then back over at Theoxenia Caldera Hotel, in the morning, you would have a breakfast waiting for you. But these incredibly fantastic hosts will make and deliver your breakfast to you the night before if you're leaving early. So while there are 220 Kyklaris islands, and it would be tough to see them all, a great one to start with is Santorini. You can get delicious food, experience wonderful Greek hospitality, and witness some of the most amazing sights your eyeballs have ever seen. If you're going to start somewhere, I think this is a great choice. Santorini gets 5 stars.